Welcome to a brand new series on the channel, which we are going to be calling the Performance Review. What this series will be about is looking at bowling balls in the past 6 to 9 months and trying to give new updates on, are people throwing them? Are they not? Trying to see if the pros like them, see if amateurs like them, see if house bowlers like them. Because one thing that we really don't do well in the bowling community, me included, is that we don't talk about bowling balls after they release. A lot of ball reviewers that you see, you never hear the ball get mentioned again. So there's going to be a lot of balls on this list that you might have forgotten about. What we're going to do is go through all of them, see, are they doing well? Are they selling well? Do people like them, or should you ignore them? I had a lot of viewers actually recommend this series. I want to thank all of you who threw this one at me because I think it's a great idea and something we don't really cover in bowling. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover all three brands separately. There's probably about 20-ish bowling balls on this list. We're going to be covering January releases all the way through April releases of 2025. And then every couple months, we'll hopefully come back with this series and talk about another couple months of releases. Let's start though with Motive Bowling. Motive Bowling only had a couple of bowling balls get released at the beginning of this year. They had the Jackal Onyx in January, they had the Lethal Venom, they had the Evoke Hysteria, and then the Max Thrill Hybrid. Overall, Motive has had a really good year. Jackal Onyx started it with a bang. In my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinions, this is the best solid Jackal that we've had in years, not counting the Jackal Ghost, of course. This is probably one of the best because it actually shapes. This is an ASIM solid that you can play deeper, and the ball actually is round and shapes through the pins. A lot of the old, strong, heavy oil Jackals would hook and then roll out. So you couldn't play that deep with them. Otherwise, they were going to leave you flat sevens, flat tens, 7-10s, whatever it may be. Jackal Onyx, really, really good ball. Still a little too pricey just because it has that M on the side. Coming up next is a Lethal Venom. Lethal Venom came out of the gate with a bang. Michael Davidson broke the PBA scoring record with it out in January. However, it's kind of slowed down. Originally, I was really hoping this was going to be a good benchmark bowling ball, but it doesn't do well from deeper. It does really well from straight, but not from deeper. So this one has actually decreased in opinion for me. Started out good, just has gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. So it's okay. It's fine. Right now, I would recommend a Primal Ghost over the Lethal Venom, though. Evoke Hysteria is coming up next. I have nothing to say about this thing because it is still one of the best bowling balls on the market. Could win ball of the year, probably a top 3 ball in the market right now. It won a ton of PBA titles. EJ Tackett loved this thing. Every Motive guy has this ball at this point, and they adore it. I've heard so few negative things about it. I was actually able to throw one a while ago. It rolled really good for me. It was at a demo, so I couldn't, unfortunately, throw it in other stuff, but it is exactly what you want from an ASIM Pearl. And finally is the Max Thrill Hybrid. Max Thrill Hybrid is weird at the end of the day. I haven't thrown a Max Thrill before this ball, and a lot of people haven't as well. It has such a good colorway, though, that a lot more extra people are buying it. And it's fine. It comes shiny. I hated it shiny. I thought it was terrible. I actually brought mine down to 2,000 grit, and now it's out about 3,000 grit, and that's really where it's good. It's very directional, where it not directional in which angular, but when it sees friction, you can watch the ball turn over and then just roll forward. It's very rolly and slow. It reminds me of an Arctic vibe. If you want that kind of ball, you can go for it. Otherwise, it's good. I think it's really good. It's super strong for the price point, and that's the biggest reason to get it. This could almost fall in the medium category because of how strong that cover is. That's all we had for Motive for January through April. Moving to Storm, we have 8 bowling balls to cover. Ball number 1 is the weirdest one. It is the Level. We came out early and said this ball is going to be too niche. We don't know what it is. And now, a couple months later, we can all agree it's too niche and it doesn't know what it wants to do. It seems like it wanted to be a urethane replacement for this potential urethane ban, but it's not that. It's great on house shots. You want something super weak. So if you throw urethane on house shots, I'd recommend a Level instead. You're going to get a little better carry out of it. But otherwise, I don't think you need a Level. Once it gets down to like $130, that might be the time to try it out, but not at retail price. It's way too expensive for that. But releasing with it was a Zen 25. This is the best replacement for the original Zen that we've ever had. The one negative with this ball that we've noticed, the cover stock dies out pretty quickly. That's one big issue with it, but otherwise this ball is really, really good. It is exactly what you wanted if you're a fan of the Zen. Perfect one-to-run replacement because original Zens are impossible to find anymore. So this is going to be your best option, and it's phenomenal. Next, we had 2 separate releases coming out in February. We had the Storm Identity, which really released in March, February timeframe. The Identity was a limited edition ball. It was an interesting idea. Belmo's take on it was that it was going to be like basically what shoe companies do, where it's a limited drop of a colorway. and it's good. It's a good ball. It just was weird, and it was an odd public reaction to it. Not great. We're not going to talk about the new identity. That was a whole different train wreck. But this ball was good. It was the most angular, strong, and sharp bowling ball that Storm had, most angular ASIM Pearl. So it was a great ball for a lot of situations, but it was just tougher to get. However, you can still buy this thing everywhere. It didn't get sold out in very many places. Then the Equinox was going to be Storm's version of a house shot killer. They wanted this ball to be the best house shot ball in the market. Weak cover, strong core. Originally, I hated this thing. Hated it with a passion. It looked terrible. However, I've really grown on it a lot more, seen it in a lot more hands, seen it in a lot more situations, and it is a good ball. It's not great for a lot of tournaments because that cover is so weak. So it's kind of niche in terms of it needs a little less volume. But I actually have one. I like it. I drilled mine pinned down, so it's a little janky. But overall, people are liking this thing a lot better than I thought they would. So ratings have gone up for this thing. Next, we have two Roto Grip releases. First one is the Roto Grip Rockstar. This one was an odd release because it fits identically where the Phase 2 does. It's a good ball. If the Phase 2 wasn't a thing, this would be one of the best medium smooth balls on the market. However, because the Phase 2 is right there, most people just went with a Phase 2. The Rockstar was on super sale for a while. I'm worried it's going to get discontinued sooner rather than later because it is a really good ball. I actually really like this thing, but if you don't want a Phase 2, grab a Rockstar. But if you like the Phase 2, just keep grabbing the Phase 2. Then the second ball released from Roto Grip was the RST Hyperdrive. The Hyperdrive was a shock release. We needed something in that strong smooth category to be with the Ion Max, and this Hyperdrive actually fit really well. It was a little bit higher RG, a little bit longer down lane, a little bit quicker. This ball started out pretty good. A lot of people liked it, and I think it's still staying there. I don't think it's better than the Ion Max. I think after a little bit of time, it's not better than the Ion Max. The Ion Max is still just too good. But this is a good option for more rev dominant bowlers. The final two releases were the IQ Tour AI and the Storm Typhoon. The IQ Tour AI was finally the AI core version of the IQ, which everybody desperately, desperately wanted to see. They put it on a hybrid cover stock, which was interesting. We thought they were going to use it to replace the Ruby because the IQ Ruby was discontinued a week before this one was announced. But it's not really that. I was super hyped originally. Hype has kind of died down. There's some better balls in this slot that will be just overall better for you. Road Warrior is still really good. High Road 40 is still goated. So this ball isn't getting as much love as a lot of people thought it would, which is unfortunate. Everyone thought with the IQ name on the side, it was going to sell out like crazy. It's still good. It's still the closest thing we get to an IQ Ruby, but Storm has so many good options in that category. It's a little tough. And that is all we have from Storm Bowling. Now we're moving on to Brunswick, where there are 19 bowling balls that have been released in this 4-month time frame. So let's get into it. We're going to go a little faster through these. Starting off, we have the Radical Snapshot. This thing is forgotten. This thing will get discontinued very soon. It was an odd release. Radical wanted to make a weaker shiny ball. It has really cool core numbers. Just nobody throws it. Nobody throws it at all. It got overlooked by everything else. Grab an Ivory Rhino, grab a GB5 Pearl. They fit kind of in a similar spot. Along with it came the Outer Limits Solid. This ball was pretty good for the first 50 games. What we have learned is that the cover stock dies very quickly. Within 50 to 100 games, this cover stock is acting way weaker than it did out of box. So keep that in mind on this really, really good looking bowling ball, one of the best looking balls of the year. The cover just didn't hold up well for a lot of people. I've heard that from many, many sources now that Outer Limits Solid just absorbs oil like crazy and pukes out very early. Next is one of the best Brunswick balls of the year, Black Widow Mania. This ball started with a ton of hype, and it's staying there. It is a really good ball. It's one of their best strong and sharp balls. So if you want something asymmetrical and pearl from Brunswick, grab a Black Widow Mania. It is still holding true to the test of time. Next is an underappreciated ball that's still really good. 3D Offset Assault, strong and smooth ball, hybrid cover, has that 3D Assault, 3D Offset core. Really good combo. I think this is one of the balls that is getting ignored way too much right now. It started off, it looked pretty cool. It's a hammer ball, but other stuff, of course, took over. Where now that the Pure Envy is gone, I think this is one of the best options from Hammer right now in that stronger category. Next is the Crusher Hybrid, which is a sequel to the Crusher, which was a hybrid. I don't know. It already is discontinued. It wasn't well liked. It was just a big fumble on Brunswick's part. The ball was good. The ball was really good. A lot of people at Brunswick really liked it, and a lot of staffers liked it, but fans didn't like it because it's the same thing that they just released, and you couldn't really tell the difference. Last January release was the Troublemaker Solid. This was just a weaker solid version of that Troublemaker Core. Really good ball. It's a good, weaker, medium and smooth bowling ball. Kind of fits like where the Cove does to a certain degree. Kind of fits where like the Venom Shock does to a certain degree. So it's a really good ball in that slot. It's a very unique spot in the bag. And this Troublemaker is still good. Still very solid. Still very well liked. So I think it still stays high on the list. Starting the February releases was the Stealth mode. The Stealth was back in a solid form. It's basically just a remake of the original track Stealth, which people loved. The PBA pros adored this thing. This made a ton of telecasts. Tim Foy threw this a billion times, it seemed like, on TV. It is one of the best medium smooth options from Brunswick in terms of strength. It is the strongest one in that list. Really, really good ball. Really, really cheap for zero reason. But the problem is you have to fight between this and the Game Breaker 5. They're very similar, so pick your favorite. They're both really good. Criterion Hybrid coming up next. This ball is really angular. Really good ball. Very angular. If you like the Criterion and you want a quicker version of it, this is a good choice. This one acts like a Pearl. Don't read the Hybrid like it's going to be smooth. It is basically a Criterion Pearl is what it feels like. Next is the Piranha Power Core Pearl, and I was harsh on this ball originally because the original Piranha Power Core sucked. That ball was really bad. There was like 2 people in the world that liked it. Pearl version's really good, actually. It's a lot more angular. They put a good cover stock on it compared to the Core. This one actually has bumped up the list a lot, and I'm actually recommending this one for people who like Brunswick products. Finally is the Hypnotize. I thought this ball would do a lot better than it did. It's already on sale. It's getting ignored, which is weird. It's a good ball, super slow, pretty strong, but it's just not well liked. It's a good ball if you want something strong. If you don't want to mesmerize, if you don't want the 3D offset, you want something a little different, grab a Hypnotize. Otherwise, I see this ball being discontinued within the next couple of months. All right, we're going on to March. Radical Torpedo coming up next. Not a clue. I've seen this ball go down the lane 2 times in 6 months. I don't know why. I bowled a lot of tournaments since then, and nobody has thrown this ball. Brunswick staffers are like, I didn't even order that thing. I'd avoid it solely because no one else has really play tested it. And now the Radical Torpedo Direct Hit. We all know how I feel about it. Now, overall, I understand the niche this ball fills. This ball fills a spot for highly, highly rev dominant bowlers who want to play straighter. Do you need this ball? Probably not. Do people that are highly rev dominant that don't want to buy a Rhino, don't want to buy anything weak, want this ball? Sure. Drill it weak. Don't drill it strong, because if you drill it strong, this ball is hot garbage. Absolutely garbage. Super niche, super not good for 95% of the bowling population. But if you like it, that's awesome. Good for you. I think people who are highly rev dominant, this could be a beneficial ball. Next is the Special Effect Shiny Solid Effect. We all wanted that super strong effect, which we now got in the Maximum, but the Special Effect was different. It wasn't well liked. A lot of people actually hated this ball. I think it's a good league shot ball. I think it's terrible in a lot of other situations, but it's good for league. Very niche. Not well liked. Hammerhead is coming up next. Really good medium smooth ball. A very oversaturated part of Brunswick's market, unfortunately, but it is a good piece. It has gotten a little bit better. The use hasn't really gone up, though. This ball isn't thrown by that many people. People are getting a stealth mode or a GB5 instead. Next is the GB5 Pearl. We always love seeing new game breakers coming out, and this ball is very underappreciated. It's super, super cheap right now. It's like $110 to $120 online. Really, really good ball. One of the best Pearl balls that Brunswick has to offer. Pros like it. High-level amateurs like it. Staffers like it. The good sign that this ball is really, really, really good for Brunswick guys. Finally, in March was the Dark Side. Dark Side was fine. It was weak, super weak, but it's really, really angular. If you want a super angular bowling ball, you could grab a Dark Side, super quick off the spot. If you don't want that, like me, I didn't really need that. I got it in a mystery box. It's not used much. I've thrown it a very small handful of times, unfortunately. It's good if you want that kind of reaction. Last 3 bowling balls from April. We are starting with the Cypher Pearl. I don't know. I don't see this thing go down the lane almost at all. The Cypher original one started out really hot, but then got really sucky. This one just didn't really get much time. I don't know. It's probably fine. I just never see it, so I have zero opinion about the Cypher Pearl. Crown Victory coming up next. This ball's really good. This is like a better version of the Dark Side. If you have to choose between the Dark Side and the Crown, grab the Crown because it's rounder and more versatile. The Dark Side wants to either just never hook or be super quick. This ball actually rounds off of it a little bit better. It gives you a little more consistency, which is really good. That's exactly what you want. Final one is the Columbia 300 Rally. This ball is just strong, slow. It's basically a Hypnotize, so don't get a Hypnotize if you have this or vice versa. I don't know, it's okay. There's better bowling balls in that spot from the Brunswick brand, so it's just kind of getting ignored. A lot of people like it from straighter is where it's best. So if you want to be Columbia 300 fan and you want to play straighter on a lot of oil, grab a rally. Otherwise, it just hasn't really stood up that well. All right, that was a lot of bowling balls, but that was your performance review, quick performance review for all the bowling balls released between January of 2025 and April of 2025. If you guys want to hear more about some of the past bowling balls that have been released and you want more performance reports like this, please let me know down below in the comments and I will keep this series going. Otherwise, we'll just end it after one. So please let me know. I make these videos so that they benefit you. And if you guys don't see benefit in it, I won't make them. It's okay. But let me know if you guys like this series down below. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Make sure to grab a chamois if you haven't down below from DH Lab. Those guys are the best, and the chamois are really good. Those have really stood the test of time, unlike some of these bowling balls on this list. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one.